Welcome everyone to the Moisky News for July the 1st, 2020. Today I would like to talk about Jenny Durkan and CHOP. Jenny Durkan is the mayor for the city of Seattle. CHOP is the name for the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, which was Chaz, now the Capitol Hill Occupied Protest Encampment. However, the encampment part is not in the acronym, it's just CHOP. Jenny Durkan was elected to office in 2017 and was initially supportive of Chaz, now CHOP. Which, by the way, CHOP is a rubbish national name. Chaz is better, Chaz for life, yo. And even went so far as to stop the police getting involved until recently. Trups and I have gone through the demands of Chaz, now CHOP, and I'll link the relevant stream down below. Much of the demands are utter tripe, but there were some that actually make sense. And we agreed on that. I will link the stream, I promise. It'll be a pinned comment. Well, to further sway Jenny Durkan's view on all of this, after she made a few comments, protesters decided to set up an event called March to the Mayor's Mansion to lay out their demands of cutting the police budget by at least 50%, and for that 50% at least to be used on black and brown communities, most notably for affordable housing, with the speaker for them saying there's been a huge demand in Seattle black and brown communities for decades now. Defunding SPD by 50% is just the beginning of that, but there needs to be a lot of progress and restorative justice for our black and brown folks. That quote comes from a man called Wes, who is the Seattle Democratic Socialists of America organizer. Gotta share them resources. Hundreds of people turned up to Magnuson Park on Sunday for this event, with them stopping in the middle of a nearby neighborhood to hold a rally that was equipped with a stage, which is where the speakers laid out their demands, saying that using that money in black and brown communities, specifically affordable housing, giving access to healthcare, improving education in our black and brown communities, along with wanting charges against protesters to be dropped. So what did the mayor of Seattle do to incur the ire of the protesters? Simple, really. She said and laid out a demand that the barricades for CHOP were to be removed by Sunday. Is it this Sunday they're referring to? I think they mean by this Sunday. There are videos already circulating of barricades being gone and people going around CHOP to find bins, benches, to make new ones. We must do what we can to protect CHOP from all encroachers and illegals. No level of irony there. This is, after all, a part of, well, an important city. A peaceful city themselves inside a city that is CHOP being the peaceful, full of socialists, farmers, and of course, as all peaceful environments require, warlords. Yeah. Durkan put out a number of tweets in a thread, indicating that she had met with more than a dozen people from different organizations, with her doing work at the city and accepting that organizations demand changes in education, youth safety, housing, criminal justice reform, police, healthcare, with her claiming to have made these a priority for 2 years by investing in affordable housing, community-based programs, quality preschool, and free college. That's not such a thing. Free college doesn't exist. People need to stop saying that. The money comes from somewhere. It's not free. Earlier this week, she outlined a plan. Her plan was to invest in BIPOC communities, invest in young people and youth opportunities, rethink and reimagine policing, including culture and budgets, increase accountability and reform, including statewide reforms of police unions. Not entirely sure how you're going to accomplish that, but sure, Seattle is now the city that is Washington. But she's also, in a different related comment, indicated that she wants the police to go in and start taking back CHOP, except for the Eastern Precinct Police Station. People have been, for the most part, begging for action on this. Some for black and minority ethnic communities and others because they live near CHOP. And to them, it reminds them of San Francisco with needles and waste everywhere. As mayor of Seattle, you are custodian of your great city. Do not besmirch that responsibility by letting others water down and make your city a joke. You can, in fact, and this might be a novel idea, attain equality without having to do what CHOP has done. That's not to say some of their demands aren't reasonable, but taking over an entire area of Seattle to make demands reeks of hostage and one hell of a pantomime. To me, CHOP is a joke, and while I do like the idea of CHOP existing because it amuses me, in all seriousness, it's not funny when you then make demands and expect everyone to give you what you want when you have done everything you can to do it without using the very democracy you vote for. And you can't now tell me, but democracy's failed. It's not that it's failed, it's that you didn't get the result you wanted. Fighting for justice and equality is one thing, but CHOP is not that. The protesters want Jenny Durkan to resign. I'm not sure if she should or not. That's not my place. I'd like to see whether the investment she intends to make or has already made actually yield any positive results for the communities that claim they are being discriminated against in Seattle, but that will take time. And many people don't realize simply snapping one's finger or tentacle doesn't achieve a result. We're not wearing an infinity gauntlet to build new homes here. I'm almost certain I'm going to get somebody commenting, "Oh, Megon, you don't understand America." You're right, I don't. But I do understand people's right to protest. To seize control of an area of a city is not a protest. It's the equivalent to a hostage situation, and you're being entertained by people who don't know how to respond because you've managed to devolve it to race. And if they interfere, the optics says they're the bad guys. Which is a tad tragic, really, isn't it? With what is happening in Chaz/CHOP, I'd love to know what you think. If you want to press F in the comments for Chaz or CHOP, do so. If you'd like Chaz and CHOP, Chaz or CHOP, to be returned to the rightful owners, do let me know. If you think Jenny Durkan should go, let me know.